Hi guys, my name is Andrea Sava and today we'll be discussing the experiment of penny chemistry. The materials we will be using today will be table salt, a bunch of pennies, a plastic container, non-metallic, and vinegar. Oxidation. Oxidation is a process which involves the addition of oxygen or any electronegative element or the removal of hydrogen or any electropositive element. It is defined as the process in which an atom or ion loses one or more electrons. Reduction. Reduction is a process which involves the addition of hydrogen or any electropositive elements or the removal of oxygen or any electronegative element. It is defined as the process in which an atom or ion gains one or more electrons. A redox reaction is a reaction of reduction and oxidation reaction, which is a type of chemical reaction in which reduction and oxidation occur at the same time. The reduced species receives electrons, whereas the oxidized species loses them. An oxidation process does not need the presence of oxygen despite its names. Pennies are made up of copper. When the copper reacts with the oxygen in the air, the copper forms copper oxide, resulting in a dull and dirty appearance of the pennies. We see from the reaction below, two coppers with the oxygen uh, gives the copper oxide. The reaction happening in this experiment is the salt first is added to vinegar to speed up the process. So the sodium chloride reacts with the acetic acid, which is the vinegar, to form sodium acetate and hydrochloric acid, which is a strong acid. Copper oxide, as we said earlier, where it forms from the reaction of copper with air, reacts with acids to form water and copper salts, as we can see here. So in this reaction, the vinegar, which is the acetic acid, a weak acid, and hydrochloric acid, which is a strong acid, work together to speed up the process of the reaction, resulting in copper, salts, and water. So the first reaction that is happening is that the copper oxide reacts with the acetic acid to give water and copper acetate. The second reaction is copper oxide reacts with hydrochloric acid to give water and copper chloride. The copper surface is oxidized, which slows down the formation of copper acetate. And when you add chlorides in the solution, the chloride penetrates the oxide layer and creates a hole in that layer that allows acetate to react with the copper. It's called copper corrosion and chlorides. So this is the experiment that we performed for the penny reaction. I added the vinegar and salt in a plastic container. I make sure that the salt was completely dissolved before I added the pennies. We see the reaction happening right away. As we said, the salt helps the reaction speed up the process. Um, so I added the pennies right here. As we can see, the pennies are very dark and dirty. We see the reaction happening already. You're gonna see in a few seconds that the pennies on the bottom are turning a little more brighter than the other one. I left the pennies for around in this solution for around, I would say, 30 to 45 minutes before I moved them into the water. As we said, pennies get dull over time because the copper reacts with the air to form copper oxide. Pure copper metal is bright and shiny, but the oxide is dull and greenish. When you place the pennies in a salt and vinegar solution, the acetic acid forms. The vinegar dissolves the copper oxide, leaving behind shiny, clean pennies. The copper from the copper oxide stays in the liquid, and we can use other acids, of course, such as lemon juice or orange juice. By rinsing the pennies with water, stops the reaction between the salt and vinegar and the pennies. As you can see now, I'm transferring the pennies from the salt and vinegar solution to a clear water where I'm gonna rinse the pennies in order for the reaction to stop. After removing the pennies from water, I place them on a paper, dry, clean towel. As we can see, the experiment was a success, since we can see a few of the coins turning bright and shiny due to the copper. This reaction is an this experiment is an oxidation reduction experiment as was said earlier. The copper oxidizes with the oxygen from air to create copper oxide, and the reduction happens when we add the salt and the vinegar, where the copper oxide reduces to copper again, and salt and water. Thank you.